Hi there. My name's Aaron Lanchman. I'm a professor of electrical and computer engineering at Georgia Tech, and here I am on the Incredible Hulk roller coaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure with Asu Asdaglar, who's now chair of the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science at MIT, and Joe Kostakis, who is now VP of Client Solutions at eSimplicity. This photo was taken when we were all in graduate school, so we have a few fewer gray hairs in this photo than we do now. Anyway, I'm obsessed with roller coasters. I'm particularly obsessed with well-themed indoor roller coasters like Revenge of the Mummy at Universal Studios and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. I'm particularly obsessed with Disney Space Mountain and have been ever since I was a kid. I've always wanted a local version of Space Mountain that I could go ride without having to go to Orlando or Anaheim. I went looking for rides like Space Mountain and discovered things like Disaster Transport at Cedar Point, the Eurosat Can-Can coaster at Europa Park in Germany, and a knockoff Space Mountain at the Formosan Aboriginal Culture Village in Taiwan, literally called Space Mountain. I'm a professor of electrical and computer engineering, not mechanical engineering or civil engineering, so I'm hoping that some of you, my viewers, could fill some gaps in my knowledge. There was a ride called the Black Hole at Alton Towers. It was pretty much an off-the-shelf Schwarzkopf Jetstar 2 model coaster, housed in a large tent to give it that Space Mountain vibe. At one point, it was modified so it could use dual-car trains, so it's not exactly like other Jetstar 2s. There are some excellent YouTube documentaries by Expedition Theme Park and Defunct Land that I suggest you check out. Eventually, the Black Hole had to go to make room for the Smiler. It was refurbished by the German company Gerstlauer in 2011, and then opened as an outdoor coaster at the Furuvik Zoo and Amusement Park in Sweden, now going under the name Rocket. If it's trouble to go all the way to Sweden to try it out, you can go to the Lagoon Amusement Park in Utah, where they have a Jetstar 2 creatively called the Jetstar 2. As for the one in Sweden, it looks like Furuvik decided to close and dismantle the ride in 2021. So while I was Googling for used roller coasters, I ran across this Swiss website called amusementrides.com, and they have a Jetstar 2 for sale. Notice it has the same color scheme as the Furuvik coaster, and it has this dual train modification. And it was refurbished in 2011. So this is the Black Hole coaster. And it's available immediately if you have 400,000 euros. Let's see, 400,000 euros is $436,809.98. Okay, that's a lot of money. Let's see, you would also need somewhere to put it. So you need an 82 by 152 foot space. And if you want to do the indoor coaster Space Mountain vibe kind of thing, you need a building that could handle something at least 45 feet high. And of course, you would want to have some additional room above that to assist with construction and maintenance. Who knows, maybe there's some giant abandoned warehouse somewhere waiting to be bought and refurbished. You would also need to ship it, and I have no idea how much that would cost or even who to contact about shipping a roller coaster. I'm guessing you can't just set up an account on DHL and go for it. Then you need to assemble it. Does it come with instructions like IKEA furniture, or do you just kind of have to figure it out? Schwarzkopf Industries isn't around and hasn't been around for a long time. Could a generic construction company handle it, or would you need to hire a specialist? Gerstlauer handled the 2011 refurbishment, so they would probably be the ideal people to contact about setting it up, checking it out, and getting a maintenance schedule for it. Then you want to add some projectors to project star fields and galaxies and spaceships and asteroids and whatever. Then you could get creative with papier-mâché and make some props. Maybe add some tasteful lasers. Everybody likes lasers. Add some other cool lighting effects, even some disco balls if you really want to go for that Space Mountain vibe. The Jetstar 2 starts with a slow spiral lift. It takes around a minute to get to the top. You could section this cylinder of the spiral lift off and kind of make it its own traditional dark ride section. I don't know, maybe where you get some kind of mission briefing on TV screens. The actual gravity part of the coaster is only around 30 seconds long, but it seems pretty intense for a coaster of this relatively small size. The designer managed to pack a lot of coaster into a relatively small footprint. I'm curious, how much would you pay to try out a ride like this? And what do you think would be a good home for a ride like this? Think outside the box.